Hello, gorgeous Capricorn, and welcome to February 2021. This is a big shift in energy. There was so much pressure on Capricorns for so long, and I'm curious to hear how you all are doing now that the energy has shifted out of your sign and into your neighbor of Aquarius. It's a really different energy for all of us to adjust to. And as a collective, we're going to be noticing and working with that. Now, February is really like stepping up to the plate with the Aquarian energy because we have obviously Jupiter and Saturn have moved there now. The sun will be moving through Aquarius until the 18th of the month. There's a new moon in Aquarius. Venus moves into Aquarius on the 1st of the month. And we have a Mercury retrograde in Aquarius. That's a lot of energy in Aquarius. And for you all, this is really going to be speaking to your second house. This is Venus ruled energy here. So this is all about how you honor your resources, honor your physical body, honor your sense of safety within your physical body, honor your sense of safety within your physical surroundings. And, it is physical, but that goes to a much deeper question of, where you are actually nurturing yourself or undercutting yourself. And so this year in general is going to be highlighting that as a theme for you. And especially this month it's going to. So you're going to be coming back to the basics in some ways when it comes to this energy in Aquarius. It's going to be asking you to come back to the basics of how you are nurturing yourself, and not on a superficial level, at a root level. I think we often think of Venusian ruled energy, like this second house energy, as being a bit superficial, like good tasting food and pretty lights and things like that. And yes, there's an element of that. But it's actually very important self-mothering energy, because it's asking you, are you leaving yourself like in a drafty cold corner of a room emotionally all the time? Or are you finding ways to create a warm hearth feeling in your life and in your surroundings? So this is an important time. And, second house energy is some of my favorite energy to work with. And there's actually quite a bit of support here. Now, one other thing to keep in mind during Aquarius season is that we have a Mercury retrograde the whole time, and this is an integration time. We have Ace of Cups. Hello. I like it. This is an integration time. So this is a time to get clear on how you want to use Six of Swords. Love it. How you want to use this new energetic cycle. How you want to shift things up, change things up, remix things. You may be finding you are finding inspiration in the beauty you have around you and how you feel secure in yourself. You may be finding ways of eating or sleeping or creating. King of Swords. Love it. That feel much more nourishing to you. So this is a great time to just get and Four of Pentacles. That card's been coming up a lot in February. And a part of that is because with this change in energy, with this domination of Aquarian energy coming in, because even after February, when most of the other planets leave, Jupiter and Saturn, which are pretty important players in the flavor of a year, are going to still be in Aquarius. So we're really working with that. But my point being that we're adjusting to that energetic cycle. And a lot of this is asking us to leave our comfort zone. It's asking us to leave something that's just familiar, even if it's not serving us anymore. And February gives us a chance to get really honest with ourselves about that and get kind of comfortable with the shifting of the seasons of life here. So for you all, I'm loving these cards. Also keep in mind that as we move through the month, we are going to get into Pisces season, which is very spiritual. It's about spiritual health and healing. For you, this is a part of the way that you communicate yourself to the world. So it's a really powerful season for Capricorn. And of course, that energy is going to amplify more in March. So we will cover the Piscean emphasis for you then. But it will shift flavor at the end of the month. As we move into Pisces season on the 18th, as the Mercury retrograde ends on the 20th, and as we hit the full moon in Virgo on the 27th, which is going to be in your ninth house of the big picture. So really supportive energy. And generally speaking, these cards are super supportive of Cappies. And I love seeing that because it was definitely a several year ride of intensity, right? So Ace of Cups, new beginnings, right? Your cup overfloweth. And here's where the Venusian thing is really important. How you treat yourself, how safe you feel within yourself, how much you feel nourished with how you talk to yourself, how you treat yourself, how you connect with your body, overflows into all your other relationships. It opens the door, it unlocks it. Now, this is also telling me, I mean, this is an amazing time, and I think you should take a moment during this Mercury retrograde to acknowledge the fact that you have just graduated from a huge energetic cycle, 3 years of focused work, focused coming back to yourself. And you get to now navigate what that means moving forward from that 3-year cycle. And Ace of Cups is celebratory. You know, this is about emerging fully beautiful. So I also want to just encourage you this month, to enjoy where you are, enjoy how much you've learned. Really, honestly, just list out all the things you've accomplished, all the things you've learned, all the skills you've mastered. You know, I know for myself, I think about the last 3 years, and I'm a Sag rising, but most of my first house is Capricorn. So this is actually really personal to me when I'm talking to you as well. It's like my second house is Aquarius. And, I was just thinking about ways that I deal with stress or overwhelm, that in 2017, when Saturn first went into, in December 2017, when Saturn first went into Capricorn, I didn't know how to do that. And even though it's really subtle, it's not something I could totally enunciate even. It's something I realize now, that morphing has happened. So this is a really great month to give yourself that credit. And Ace of Cups is a new beginning. It's a new start. Now, of course, with every new beginning there is a leaving behind. And I love the Six of Cups, or the Six of Swords, because yes, sometimes it's hard because we have to get in that boat and sail across the river, even when we love somebody, and even when we feel like that place, that thing was something that we need to have gratitude for. And that's fine. We can have respect and love and gratitude for things that we also have to leave behind. And with this transition, you may just find the Six of Swords may relate to something that's actively happening. It could also relate to realizing that you're already in the boat, you're already halfway across the river, and you've changed, and realizing that the person you were even 2 months ago is gone. So you may, with this Mercury retrograde, be finding that you are also just coming to terms with how you yourself have changed and how the landscape has changed, and what that means for you as you move into this new territory. And of course, with new opportunities, with that Ace of Cups energy showing up here, which is about deeper love, right? It is about emotional fulfillment. It does mean, we are normally leaving behind something. So there is a shift going on there. I'm very intrigued and excited about that. We also have King of Swords. Now, this speaks to that kind of bird's eye view energy that all this Aquarian movement is bringing about. So I think about King of Swords, he's able to zoom out and just take a look, right? And just understand the bigger processes at work from a perspective, like almost simplifying things, right? Like not getting caught up too much in little details and getting all worked up about that, but really looking at the foundation of things from that zoomed out perspective. I think King of Swords also speaks to really good self-parenting, really good boundaries, really good communicating of what you need, what you want, being very clear. And I think, King of Swords is a very important energy to activate within yourself. Of course, you could have King of Swords energy around you, and great. If that's the case, if your Ace of Cups involves a King of Swords, fantastic. But this is an important energy to activate within you, because this is the part of yourself. This is kind of a representation of the part of yourself that will speak to yourself kindly and will advocate for you and say, hey, we got to make a change here. We need to set a curfew here. We need to say no to that. And we need to make some shifts, right? And it's not a mean voice. It's not a doubling down. It's not like I'm calling you on your BS kind of voice. It's the voice that just says, hey, I can see you're getting a little stressed or worked up about this. And hey, I'm here for you. It's okay for us to change it. And that is an important energy. And this is very empowering because it gives you clear sight. Now, King of Swords, I think often also cuts us open into the next phase. And all three of these first cards are telling me that like you're embarking on an adventure. You're embarking on something big. And probably February is just the tip of the iceberg, right? Because this Four of Pentacles also speaks to that. Four of Pentacles is when we're scared, when we know we need to make a change, but because before we make the change, we don't get to our report that has all the info of how well it's going to go or how badly it's going to go before we make the change. There's a time, and this is also where Mercury retrograde can be very, very helpful for you, where we kind of clench, we kind of resist the change, we hold back, we say, ooh, I don't know if this is going to be okay. If I release this and I go forward into this and I step outside of this comfort zone, what's to say that all of my security isn't going to just fall away and I'm going to be left here having made a foolish choice, right? And I say time and again, Four of Pentacles is an important step not to try and like force yourself to skip. Some people in the world, I think, they are just like magical beings that don't tend to have so much Four of Pentacles moments in life, but most of us are going to feel nervous about shift. Most of us are going to feel nervous about beginning a new chapter, opening ourselves up and doing things differently. And if we try and like navigate around Four of Pentacles and just pretend it's not there, it doesn't go away. So we've got to find a way to come back to that part of ourselves that does not feel secure, does not feel safe. Listen to it, right? And say, okay, I hear your concerns, but guess what? It's okay. And that's a really important thing to do. It's the part of ourselves, we often learn it in childhood, and often too, generationally, these messages get passed down for many, many, many generations around survival, around making it. Most of us, I think most people come from past generations that had to work really hard, that were farmers, laborers, because that's the majority of people ever in the world have been people who have worked hard and have had to really survive, right? So most of us have intergenerational messages around that. And we also have it in the way we grew up, how we deal with stress, right? To like protect ourselves. And that's what that Four of Pentacles voice is. And it's important that we are kind to it rather than trying to ignore it, because it will just get louder as you are growing and expanding. So just a moment to take there. Now I want to pull one final card from my Animal Totem Tarot to close out our reading for today, for February. I am so intrigued by this month. It's going to be such a unique time. I mean, it really is such a different flavor. And the thing is, I love you guys. I love Capricorn energy. And in many ways, I got pretty comfortable with the work and the way the work was being done the last 3 years. So it's like coming into Aquarian energy this month. I'm excited about it. I think it's time for a different emphasis somewhere. I think you guys probably agree. Like, you're probably ready. I'm ready. But it's also like, oh my gosh, this is going to take a minute to just get used to the air up here. Page of Swords wanted to come out. The Roadrunner. I love Roadrunners. I remember a number of years ago, about 4 years ago now, actually around the time that Saturn went into Capricorn, I was living alone in this house and I was going through like this crappy breakup 4 years ago with an Aquarian actually. And this Roadrunner started to show up on my porch like every day. And where I lived at that time, they're not very common in that area. It's not the right ecosystem for them, or the habitat for them. And he was there, and it was like such a cool thing to have that that little friend like reminding me of my journey forward. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. I'm trying to find the page here for Page of Swords. Okay, so Page of Swords, the Roadrunner, they are such cool magical birds. And here is the message that comes with Roadrunner. If I show myself to you, it is only because I want you to see me. But don't be fooled into thinking that this is some sort of long-term thing. I am merely here to show you what you have been missing while your head is constantly facing the ground. I am here to remind you that once in a while, you need to raise your head and take a good, hard look at what is around you. man, that just read me 4 years ago, because at that time my head was definitely down and in a person in a situation that was not good for me. Yeah, I think I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at this like Ace of Cups and Six of Swords and Knight of Wands, and these energies that are like, look at this expansive view. Like, here's where you're going. And that Four of Pentacles is like, yeah, but what about all these things right here, right now that I have to get. And then Roadrunner comes in and says, hey, don't get caught up in that. I mean, details matter. However, we sometimes get ourselves all wrapped up and tangled in how we don't feel safe and how we have to keep doing things the same way, that we stop being able to hear our becoming, hear our evolution. And it's just a reminder here for perspective, right? To like take off some of that heaviness and let yourself see that bigger picture. Let yourself feel some of this airy spaciousness that Aquarius energy brings with it, because there's some different chapter opening. And you may not even really fully believe that yet. You may feel very reticent to let yourself go there, emotionally, practically, whatever. This month is a great time to take that Roadrunner message and let yourself see it. I think that's a perfect place to end. So I'm going to be doing a lot of extra support for this Aquarius mega party in February, because I think we all need some adjustment to it. Unless you're somebody who's got Aquarius up the wazoo, it's an energy to get used to. So I'm going to be offering a lot of support there. I would love to see you on our cute little community over there. You can also find me on my website and on Instagram. So I'll leave all my links below. You can also find PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry on her Etsy shop. I will leave her link below as well. Have a beautiful and blessed February, my friends, and take really good care of yourselves. Remember that Venusian energy of feeling safe in yourself, feeling allowed to nurture into big things, and to not get too tangled up on what seems scary. I'm sending you all my love, and I will see you on the other side of this Mercury retrograde for March's readings ahead.